What happens when it's time to leave the Hotel Uterati and you just don't want to use the mortal portal? Well, you can opt for the skylight option. And while you may think of these as modern day procedures, there is evidence as far back as 715 BC of these being performed. Before the advent of anesthetics, antibiotics, and modern surgical techniques, a lot of these procedures were done after the mother had died. But delaying the procedure until maternal demise also comes with risk of fetal demise, so some mothers opted in to have them start before she was gone, and others had it forced on them. If you didn't already infer, this is a major surgery. They are going through 7 layers of tissue, and even today, it requires weeks of rest and recovery to get back to full strength. This image shows you that there is a lot going on in there, and a lot of these procedures are done in kind of the heat of the moment, in an emergency situation. So your surgeon has to be very careful, while at the same time being very speedy. And there's actually kind of 2 parts to the delivery because they obviously have to get the infant out, but then they have to go back in and kind of scrape and separate the placenta from the uterine wall so that they can get that out of there so that they can close everything up in a timely fashion. The odds are that everything heals up as it should, but there are some very strange things that can happen if it doesn't, like you can have a patent wound in the uterus that requires a second surgery where it kind of opens back up. You can also have incomplete healing of the abdominal muscles. And in a really strange turn of events, you can actually have something called transplant endometriosis. That is where the inner layer of the uterus is actually transplanted into the tissue here along the incision, and as everything heals up, you can end up with a cesarean scar that has endometrial tissue in it that will bleed when you are on your period. Let's take a minute to appreciate the fact that pregnant people, pregnant women can do this. Like, they are literally the temple of life. They're responsible for building every human being that you've ever met. And that is a wild ability to have just at your disposal.